Janine from Holland, and you're watching The Expedition.
I am Jaula.
I'm Talita.
I'm Denise.
You're watching The Expedition.
The Expedition. Fascinating stories of the smiling coast.
Hello there, welcome to another edition of Expedition Gambia. My name is Fatou Ellika Muloshi, and in this edition, we're looking at something very, very important, something that most of you already know, and it is shea butter. Most of you call Diwingalam, or in Maninka we call it bamboo tulo. Now today we're here in Bakau at someone who is actually involved in making natural products, and this person makes it fresh from start, and shea butter is one of those products that she makes. And at this point in time, we are in the Hamilton season. You also want to see something that is actually good for your skin and as well keeps your body moisturized, but it's very important for your well-being as well. And for that reason, we'll be looking at Maiyamuna Skin Care and how exactly does she make the shea butter product, and why is it a very well sellable item at this point in time. This is Expedition Gambia. We'll be right back. So welcome back. This is Expedition Gambia, and like I said, we'll be looking at today a very important product, and it is the shea butter. Most of you call Diwingalam or bamboo tulo. So here with me, as you've seen already, I have the young lady, the beautiful Maimuna Jahateh, and she's got a very wonderful business where she is focused on naturally made products. And one of the products we'll be looking at today, very important at this point in time, is the shea butter. And Maimuna is going to take us through how she makes her own product and why it is important for you and I to be using this at this point in time. But before we do anything, I first of all like to welcome Maimuna to the Expedition Gambia. Welcome.
Thank you so much. And my name is Maimuna Jahateh, and I'm the founder of Maimuna Skin and Hair Care Products. So what we do is we take raw natural ingredients and source them from the Gambia and West African countries and process them into wholesome products that we can use for beauty and personal care. So we process them into body butters, hair products, shampoo, body wash, lip balms, etc. Yeah.
I mean, Maimuna, you went abroad, and when you came back, the first thing you did was to get involved in a business like this. And as someone who is actually involved in the sciences, where did you get this inspiration from?
When I went to study in India, that's where I did my bachelor's. So I have a bachelor's in biotechnology. When I went to study in India, we found it difficult to get our moisturizers and products that we could use for our skin. Because as we know, as black people, we have different hair texture, and our skin is different from the white people or the Asians. So when we were there, we had to get shea butter from the Gambia. That's what we were using there for our hair to help us moisturize our afro, because as we know, it's very dry. And yeah.
And that's interesting, because while we're here, we're thinking those in abroad have better products than ours, or is it because the products are not really compatible?
So in India, they have different hair type. So their hair type is very straight. So what they mostly use is oils and lotions for their hair. So that would be good to moisturize their hair. But for us, we will need an extra step. That's a sealant. If not, when you moisturize and you go outside, your hair tends to be dry. Yeah, that's why we need the shea butter or butters that are really good to seal in moisture in our hair and our skin. So as we know, black people, we're very prone to hyperpigmentations, and due to sun damage hair, you would have the black spots and pigmentations in general. That's because of our melanin in our skin, which is very different from someone who has low proportion of it. Melanin, as we know, is not only in the black skin, it's in all skin type, but the production of it in black skin is higher than other skin types, and that's the difference. So that exposes us to pigmentations and skin issues like that. So when I came back from India, I found it difficult to get products that I can use for my skin that are without chemicals in them, because in the Gambia, there's a silent culture of people not talking about the bleaching endemic that is here in the Gambia. Most of our products have bleach in them. So it's either hydrochlorine or hydroquinone or other bleaching ingredients in them, which could have mercury, and this is very dangerous for our skin. So we decided to introduce natural products. It didn't start first as a business. I just started making products for myself, and then my friends started seeing how my skin was glowing, so they asked for products, and then it started like that. I gave them samples, and they loved it, and then they motivated me to start a business. Yeah, and that's how we started.
Wow. Interesting. And from what we've seen, you use purely naturally made products. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. So currently we have about 7 products in store. We started with 2. We started with our scrubs. They are like our favorite products because they're what we started with. So we started with the rice scrub, and then we have the coffee scrub, and then we have body wash, and then the Shea Velvet with the hair cream and the shampoo.
So why are you overly emphasizing on the use of these naturally made products?
So why natural? Natural means something clean, something that's from raw source, and something that is very gentle on the skin. So when you use natural ingredients in your skincare, it means it can be used by different skin type and different people from different ages. So there are some products that when they introduce different ingredients in them, they are not safe for the babies, or they are not safe for the elderly. But if you use something like shea butter, it's like safe for all skin type. So it's really important to use ingredients that are clean and raw, and they're sourced from like really clean background. Yeah. So natural ingredients in your skincare would mean they are safe to use. Yeah, and that wouldn't cause any skin damage or any irritations. Yeah.
And why does shea butter now stand out in this whole process?
So shea butter in our products, it's like our favorite ingredient. It's easier to source because it's available in most West African countries who process them in really beautiful ways. But for us, we choose shea butter because it's really good for the skin, so rich in vitamin A and E and other nutrients. It means that this could be able to help fight radicals in the skin. So vitamin E is like an antioxidant. This can fight free radicals in the skin. So when you have skin that has premature aging or wrinkling, this is why our mothers, their skin look really fresh and plumpy because they use shea butter. So if you look at why when we were babies, our grandparents used the shea butter to do baby massage on us because it's really good for our skin. I don't know if they know all the scientific aspect of it, but
For some reason, it just happened.
I'm sure they do know because the shea butter is really dense with fatty acids, and these are really good for the plumping effect. These nourish and moisturizes the skin. So
No wonder your cheeks are plumpy too, man. Did you see that?
exactly. So we choose shea butter because it's really good. Number one, it's raw and it's natural. It's processed by mostly women in the villages that we source from. So the shea butter also is good for moisturizing, especially during this dry season. So during the Hamatan season, most people use the shea butter because if you use lotions that are really light, they will not be able to stay longer on your skin. So they will not be able to seal moisture. So shea butter itself seals the moisture on your skin, and it's able to absorb as well into the skin. Yeah.
Interesting. And that is very, a fortunate thing for us. And we don't have to go outside to look for shea butter. Where do you get your products? You source them in the Gambia?
Yeah. So we source from the Gambia, from Senegal, and from Mali as well. And then sometimes when it's really difficult to get, we get it from Ghana. Yeah.
So take us through the process, because most of us always want to use the shea butter raw like this, and you've realized that it's a bit hard for it to seal in, like you mentioned. So, but also I see another process. When I was much younger, going to junior school, my mom used shea butter on us, and trust me, this was when my skin was even glowing better. And you realize that you get a very nice glowy skin that does not have any, I don't know, there's a word they call it all,
Like even tone.
yeah, it gives you an even tone, right? And so she uses different kind of things in the mental atom, to be precise. But what's this process for you like? What do you do?
So with our shea velvet, that's the shea butter base, but we turned it into moisturizing cream that's anhydrous. It means it has just oils. So it's called shea velvet to us here. What we do is we take the shea butter as our main ingredients and we whip it together with different oils and essential oils to create a lovely body butter blend. I'll just show you. Yeah. So this is the finished product right there. Yeah.
So what you do is whip it, and most people will use spoon and all of this. Do you have like advanced way of doing this?
So we actually do have a maxi blender that we use because we don't produce in small quantities. So we have a maxi blender that we use. So when we take the raw body butter, the raw shea butter, we melt it down to a cool temperature with the beeswax. We love beeswax in our products because it's really good as well for the skin. So when we melt it down and then we add in the other oils, which range from olive, coconut, mustard, castor. We fine tune our oils to look for oils that are really rich in vitamin E, just to promote like glowy skin, skin that's beautiful and skin that's all natural. So we fine tune our selection of oils and then we add it together with different essential oils that are really good to heal different skin conditions from eczema, from acne, from hyperpigmentations. So we use oils ranging from peppermint, tea tree, rose, yeah. So just different oils and essential oils that are really good for the skin. Yeah, that's what we use. And then we cool it down before we blend it with our maxi blender to produce that lovely body butter.
And this actually becomes the finished product, and I can see it looks very smooth. Not as thick as it may look when it's really raw and not very much whipped. And what I would like to see, whoa,
Really easy to apply.
you see, and it's actually oily like this. It's not really thick, so it's easy to apply, and I'm sure it goes right in the skin like that.
Easy to absorb as well. The why we did the velvet is because we wanted to formulate a product that is buttery, but once you apply it, it like absorbs right into your skin. Because here we have a myth of people saying, oh, it's really hot, I cannot use shea butter on my skin. But we use this all year round. And then most of our customers, once they get advice from us, we tell them to use the body butter all year round. Your skin will not be oily, it will not be greasy, because it's not formulated with greasy oils. So it's whipped, and that's why it's easy to absorb into the skin. Yeah.
And I can see all these things are really working well because Maimuna, now I don't see any of those acnes or anything. Everything is just, blended and smooth. So it looks like natural products really do work.
It takes time. Before we started, I had a really bad breakout. Yeah, I had really bad acne with pigmentations, and we tried everything, but nothing seemed to work. So all the solutions they were giving me were either stuff that would bleach out the pigmentation, and that will end. The end result would be me looking like 3 shade or 4 shade lighter than I am. So I didn't want that at all. I wanted to look same brown as I am, yeah, and be proud of the black skin that I have, yeah.
And it's working. And so aside from the skin, using shea butter on the skin, what other way can we use this?
So we use the shea butter as a hair cream as well. That's this one.
So it's different from the one you use on the skin.
Yeah.
I mean the skin rather. So what other ingredients do go into this?
So we have oils that are just for hair and hair growth in that. So we have this whole trend of beard gang out here.
The beard gang, they use it too.
They use it too. So our men want to have fuller beard as well. So when they reached out to us 2 years ago, some of our guys, they reached out to us and they wanted a cream for their beard and their hair. So we decided to formulate a one product for all hair types because once it's hair, it will definitely grow. Most people think black hair doesn't grow. It does grow. Yeah, it does grow longer. Just when you take care of it, it will grow longer. Yeah, so we have just oil specific for hair in that. And then we have black seed in it. Black seed is really good for all conditions, especially for the hair and the skin. Yeah.
And it does work on the hair too, because I realize that the only time I want to comb my hair is when I apply shea butter on it. Otherwise, any other cream that I use, it's shiny, but then it's still hard for the comb to go right into it.
Yeah, it's like a brittle hair. But once you put shea butter on it, it becomes soft and it's manageable. Yeah. So shea butter is really good for the hair.
And why is it so important, Maimuna, for us to use it at this point in time, especially for kids going to school? Most of the times we don't want to use it because we feel, oh, daf di heseo, hale so koli so do he sa suf bi dafa tahase yarambi. But then why is it so important, and why should we process the shea butter before we in fact start applying?
So for the shea butter, it's really important to use it during this time because as we know, the weather is very dry. So once you have dry weather, that encourages the skin to crack, and we don't want that. What you want is to moisturize your skin right after the shower. So once you're from the shower and your skin is still wet, you can apply the body cream on it and allow it to just absorb. There will be no sun on your body.
Obviously not.
Obviously not.
And you want to encourage the kids as well to use it.
Especially the kids. Like we have to take care of our kids' skin because if not, it might introduce a lot of inflammation on the skin, especially with eczema. We see a lot of kids right now having eczema, dry skin, and the skin becomes white, it's itchy. So shea butter is really good for inflammations.
Yeah, and I was going to ask about that as well. It's good for, inflammation.
It's really good for inflammations. That's why we said it has really good amount of vitamin A and vitamin E, and this will fight against inflammations on the skin. So we've had great feedback from customers who have eczema skin, or pregnant women who don't want the stretch marks on their body, or if you're just growing, we know as we grow older, our skin tends to stretch. Yeah. So shea butter is really good because of the amount of fatty acids it has to encourage skin to renew. Your skin will become healthier and you will glow.
Yeah, and you will glow, and the glow is what we want actually. And the fact that this is Expedition, may I remind you, and we always want to look at things that are happening in the Gambia. And the good thing about this is we can source all these things from the Gambia. So it is important that we make use of the natural products we have in the country, also for economic benefit.
Yeah, especially to empower women, because most of the times the shea butter that we buy, we see them from women. So it's good to empower women in the business that they have at whatever stages they have, because most women are involved in small businesses. So if we don't pump our money into small businesses and buy from these companies that are already big enough to be worldwide, then we're not encouraging our people here economically. So we should always encourage women who are in different stages of their business. Yeah, that way we'll pump back money into our country, and this will help people to employ more.
And these women mostly are making use of the things we have that we produce in the country. And most of the times it's the lack of access to markets. Otherwise, you realize that there's more that they can gain out of this. So, but also we need to nurture what we have, and that is the naturally made products. And shea butter is also one of those reasons. And I mean, those products as well. And all over West Africa, like you mentioned, it can be found in most countries, and they're making best use of it. And it dates back to the old days, and you realize that still it is there. So it's a product well retained, and we need to really make the best use out of it. What would be your own for this?
What we realize is if we don't make good use of what we have, other countries tend to use better use of it. They tend to make better use of it. Like if you go now to the America or European countries, what you see is like everybody makes shea products. Where is this shea products coming from? It's coming from West Africa. So what they do is they take shea butter from West Africa, export it, make better products out of it, and then sell it back to us, and then we pay a very expensive rate. But if we charge for shea velvet, people tend to tell us, oh no, it's expensive. But it's the same amount of price that, or double or triple, that we're willing to pay for products that are imported back to us, but they're sourced, the natural ingredients are sourced from Africa. So it's about time we take ownership of what we have here to make better use of it. And this is why we started processing from the shea velvet, from the shea butter, and then we can sell here for our people.
It's very interesting, Maimuna, and I must say that I'm pretty much glad that if someone is being lazy out there, at least someone is making good use of the products that we have. This is simple and it's something that you can make out of in your own comfort at home. But at the same time, we go a little bit further by making it even more usable and using not really chemicals that are bad on the skin, but even more improved chemical. This is someone who is very much involved in all this what did you call it again?
Biotechnology.
Biotechnology. And I'm pretty glad that you're able to do something like this and, producing something of high quality as well. And I must say, you know what you're doing, and it's really showing all over your body as we speak. And going forward, what would be your advice? And just last words to anybody that is watching and feeling that shea butter is not at least most good for them to use. For a lot of us who are thinking that the it thing is using the creams that we sell in the market and get from the supermarket, but not knowing that this actually is the everlasting.
Yeah. One, what I would like to close with is what we did is taking the struggle out of your hands and making products that you can just pick up and use. Most people would be lazy to whip or melt down, whip it again, add some oils. They'll be lazy to do that. So we're taking the struggle out of your hands and creating products, actually formulating products that we know are balanced. We know the ingredients that are in it. We've done our research and our studies on it, and we know very much well what we're doing here. So we would like everyone to be very mindful of what they put on their skin, because the skin, as the largest organ, has to be treated with extreme care. But most people around here are not really bothered about what goes on their skin. But with age, which time, you tend to see most adverse effects that happen, especially when it comes to skin burn, skin damage. We've had customers who've used other creams and had like really massive skin damage come to us for simple ingredients, simple products that they can use on their skin to restore it back. So shea butter is really good to renew the skin, which we use for many people, and then we've had beautiful results.
And
over
I
the
was
years.
going to ask, what are some of the positive, the feedback that you've been getting, especially those using the shea butter? Yeah, the
So
shea velvet.
the shea velvet, as we know, is the shea butter based product here. So most of the feedback and reviews for the past 2 years has been either glowing, moisturized, smooth. We like to hear those three words because that's what the products tend to do. They tend to keep your skin glowing. It smooths the skin, and it's really moisturizing and nourishing as well for the skin. So when you use the product, you don't have cracked skin or damaged skin. What we do is we tend to just provide simple products that you can use in your homes to help maintain beautiful skin.
So if I were you, I would just grab everything that I have and rush out there to get a product like this one right here, which is the shea butter. And as it is, it looks very smooth, very much worked on. As you can see, it's very light, and this gives you a radiant skin that is glowing and very healthy. Not only that, it's also good for your hair, as we've already mentioned. So this is one thing that you have to look at and be very mindful of in this very Hamatan we're in for kids, for young people as well, young adults. It's very, very important for us to use the shea butter so that we won't fall victim of the causes that Hamatan can come with. And Maimuna, it's been great having you on the Expedition Gambia, and we look forward to more of you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Thank you so much.
This is Expedition Gambia, and this was all we had time for. We'll come again on your screens next week, Tuesday, same time. Bye for now, and I am your presenter, Fatou Ellika Muloshi. My camera woman has been Janketure, so it's been 3 ladies in this building. Bye-bye.
Janine from Holland, and you're watching The Expedition.
I am Jaola.
I'm Talita. I'm Denise.
You're watching The Expedition.
The Expedition. Fascinating stories of the smiling coast.